For decades, they thrived in the shadows, masterminds of influence, threading their power through the very heart of Washington, D.C. They penetrated the political elite, forged alliances through strategic marriages, orchestrated shakedowns disguised as philanthropy, and built what can only be described as an American mafia. Whispers followed them, conspiracies circled like vultures. But now, the whispers have turned into screams. USAID revelations have cracked open the facade, exposing a web of corruption so vast, it stretches from the corridors of Capitol Hill to the dark corners most Americans never knew existed. And now, law enforcement whistleblowers and chilling revelations link this family to one of the most staggering crimes in American political history, the attempted assassination of Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. Their media attack dogs are out in full force, scrambling to rewrite the narrative, but the evidence is undeniable. The Soros family thought they were untouchable, but the walls are closing in. Before we dive in, join the People's Voice Locals community if you haven't already, and sign up to become a member of the world's first ever cyber nation that truly believes in life, liberty, and the pursuit of your dreams. Visit joson.com and click the Join Us button today. It's completely free. The whole world sensed that something didn't add up about the official story behind the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Now, a former Pennsylvania state police officer has come forward to blow the whistle, accusing a raft of Democratic Party power brokers of being involved in the Soros-funded plot to assassinate Trump. The criminal complaint, which has been blacklisted by the legacy media, alleges that Governor Shapiro organized, schemed, and conspired with other officials to carry out the assassination of Trump at his campaign rally. According to the complaint, in the weeks leading up to the Trump rally, President Joseph R. Biden made frequent visits to defendant Joshua Shapiro to discuss the obstacle faced by the Democratic Party. Joshua Shapiro organized, schemed, and conspired with other officials to carry out the attempted assassination against former President Donald J. Trump. The whistleblower didn't wait until after the attempt to sound the alarm. He tried to warn federal authorities months before the rally. But the Biden regime and the FBI silenced any efforts to act on his warnings. That's right. They are all complicit in the greatest political crime since the JFK assassination.
And what you're seeing here is the motorcade on Elm Street passing in front of the book depository building. Kennedy has been shot in the throat, and Jacqueline is pulling him toward her, trying to comfort him, and she's in shock. At this time, you see the driver turn around with a pistol in his left hand, firing over his right shoulder, and shoots the president directly in the head.
According to the mainstream media, Alex Soros, the son of notorious George Soros and the largest donor to the Democratic Party, is a philanthropic golden boy. His clean-cut preppy image is crafted by a powerful PR machine and polished to perfection by a media landscape that's bought and paid for. But that facade hides a much darker reality, according to whistleblowers from within law enforcement. Evidence has surfaced tying Soros to a sprawling blackmail operation deep in the heart of DC, exposing a shadowy web of corruption far darker than most people are capable of comprehending. Like the mafia's grip on city officials through threats and secret debts, the Soros family wields blackmail as their most ruthless currency. They collect compromising information with surgical precision, illicit affairs, hidden financial crimes, dark secrets exposed by Epstein, Diddy and others, and they lock it away until the moment it's needed. Politicians in DC become little more than puppets, their strings pulled by whispered threats and unspoken leverage. Deals are not sealed with handshakes, but with fear. Did you know that George Soros received hundreds of millions of dollars in funding through USAID? That means taxpayer money was funneled into efforts that contributed to destabilizing America from within.
George Soros donated $125 million to the Democrats in 2024. George Soros' Open Society Foundation received $260 million from USAID. George Soros made 100% profit by donating to the Democrat Party. See how easy that was? He gets $200 million, he gives you half.
In other words, I
That's
think it's called siphoning.
Siphoning doesn't even begin to cover it. That was a full-blown shakedown. In back rooms and private meetings, loyalty isn't earned, it's coerced. Because once you're in their pocket, there's no way out.
$7 million to the George Soros Prosecutor Fund. So our own government is funding this left-wing lunatic who is hiring the most insane prosecutors who are letting people out of jail who commit violent crimes.
That's just the tip of the iceberg. Soros also funneled taxpayer money to fund the assassination attempt, driven by a sick and twisted agenda. His goal? to eliminate what he saw as the globalists' greatest threat and undermine the American people, using their own tax dollars to do it. Alex Soros made no effort to hide his desire to eliminate Trump during the election campaign, sending out multiple thinly veiled messages featuring the number 47 that left little to the imagination. Alex Soros became so fixated on Trump that he struggled to speak about him coherently, slipping into disorganized rants that revealed a lack of facts every time he opened his mouth.
We just heard this point about untrustworthy people, and we talked about things in the United States like checks and balances, which aren't written anywhere but are customs. And one man, Donald Trump, literally came in and just took that all away. But when I see this, when I look at this, more globally regarding democracy, I also say to myself, when was this great time that everybody got along so well and things were going so great? I mean, I think I think that we really have to be careful here in this nostalgia for a time past, because a lot of the reactions we're seeing in society are actually reactions to positive things like equality for women, and greater diversity, which come with backlash.
Much like the mafia, the Soros family used their power to manipulate and control the narrative. In the dog days of the flailing Biden administration, fact-checkers were ordered to censor and deboost users on social media who claimed that Alex Soros wanted Donald Trump dead. But attempts to control the narrative are doomed to fail, because the people have woken up. They've rejected censorship, and thanks to government exposés, they're uncovering the truth about the so-called left-wing heroes they once admired. The reality is, these individuals are complicit in the crime of the century, and the evidence is being laid bare for all to see. According to a whistleblower from within the Pennsylvania State Police, the proof is undeniable, and it leads straight to the top of the Soros crime syndicate.
I risked everything to come forward because the truth has to be heard. The Soros family didn't just pull strings, they owned the whole puppet show. They funneled money through shadow organizations, manipulated key officials, and used their influence to greenlight the operation from behind closed doors. This wasn't some rogue act. It was orchestrated, deliberate, and personal. Alex Soros was desperate to pull this off. This wasn't just about politics, it was about revenge, about power. He saw Trump as the greatest threat to their globalist empire, and he made it his mission to eliminate him by any means necessary. The plot was set in motion months in advance, with operatives placed in key positions to ensure nothing stood in the way. They moved money through foreign accounts, used shell companies to cover their tracks, and even had allies within law enforcement to make sure no one got too close. This was never a lone wolf. It was a calculated hit approved at the highest levels. The media won't touch this story because they're part of the machine. They're bought, controlled, and terrified of losing their access, their funding, or worse. Every headline, every news segment, it's designed to distract you, to bury the truth under layers of lies, but they can't hide forever. We have it all. Every document, every transaction, every encrypted message they thought was safe, we've got it. And it will all come out in due time. This isn't just me speaking out. We have people like Kash Patel and others on board who are working behind the scenes to expose the rot. The evidence is airtight and the walls are closing in. They think they're untouchable, but here's the thing about the truth. It doesn't stay buried. Digital trails exist. People talk, secrets unravel, and when the dam breaks, the whole world will see them for what they really are.
The American mafia failed in their attempt to eliminate their greatest rival. Now, it's time for payback. No wonder Soros and Gates are scrambling, launching a desperate PR campaign to gaslight the public with even more self-serving lies. But first, an important word from our sponsor. The globalists are trying to make us all poorer and destroy what's left of the economy. The Biden regime is following all of the WF diktats to the letter. They literally want you to own nothing and pretend to be happy. It's no joke. That's why I recently decided to put a lot of my own savings into precious metals, gold and silver. I don't trust the banks, I don't trust governments, and I don't trust big tech with my hard-earned money. Why? Because the handful of people that I do trust to give me financial advice, Max Kaiser for instance, have all said that gold is the best insurance against inflation and the stock market. So I decided to partner up with our sponsor, Colonial Metals Group. They helped me set up a self-directed IRA, where I have access to all of my assets, no matter what restrictions the government impose on everybody else. Let the team of experts at CMG help you protect your family's future. And viewers of this channel are being given an exclusive offer. Click the link below this video or call the 800 number and you'll receive a safe and up to $7,500 in free silver. This offer is exclusive to viewers of The People's Voice. The number to call is 888-351-2043. That's 888-351-2043. Or go to colonialmetalsgroup.com/TPV. As whistleblowers continue coming forward and government corruption continues to be exposed, we are only now beginning to uncover the shadowy networks and mafia operations tied to Soros, including the plot to assassinate Donald Trump.
I don't know if you caught Alex Soros reposting this claim that basically you have an unelected cabal wielding power. I mean, that's
you.
Yeah,
That's you, Alex. That's your dad. This is crazy.
Yeah, no, it's a very, very strange historical moment.
Also, it's like you haven't addressed any of the exposed corruption. All you're talking about is the horrors of dismantling this amazing organization. What about all the shit that they've uncovered? There's not even a counter argument. Like, no, we need to fund gender fluid dance in fucking Turkey. like, what are you talking about? We need $200 million for Starbucks Keurig cups. What?
It's no surprise that Bill Gates and the global elite are furious, scrambling to launch a high-profile publicity campaign aimed at urgently reinstating US aid funding.
In Africa. And the things USAID funds, I fund with billions of dollars. And, I'm very careful to make sure that money is well spent. And so I think naively, people hear the most random foreign aid things and think, okay, it's all like that. So I have a challenge to say to Americans, is this in your value system? And does it benefit our security or our moral example to keep these programs going? And I think people of both parties will find this a deeply moral and important thing to keep strong.
Gates is going to be deeply disappointed because the American people are waking up, and they show no signs of wanting to return to the globalist playbook or continue funding the liberal internationalist agenda around the world. In fact, what they want is accountability and justice for the crimes that have been committed in their name. George Soros built an American mafia, tightly woven through corruption, secrets, graft, and strategic marriages. Take Alex Soros' engagement to Huma Abedin. If you thought it was odd, it actually makes perfect sense when you see the bigger picture. Now, their crimes, including the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, are being exposed in real time for the world to see.
The governor of Michigan used to work for George Soros. Who's the governor of Michigan? Think about it. California Governor Gavin Newsom is Nancy Pelosi's nephew. Just bear me out. Keep coming with me. Adam Schiff's sister is married to one of George Soros' sons. Who George Soros? He hates the United States. He wants to turn the United States on its head. He put all of these progressives in office. He votes strictly Democrat. He supports strictly the Democratic Party. And he hates the United States. He said it. He hates us. John Kerry, we know who he is. Forget that guy. His daughter is married to a mullah's son in Iran. His daughter is married to a mullah's son in Iran. Understand the connection that I'm making here. These are all facts. I'm not making this up. ABC News executive producer Ian Cameron is married to Susan Rice, Obama's former national security advisor. You want to see the deep state? You want to see the mafia? You want to see how this all pulls together? You want to understand why certain things have happened in this country over the past several years? Keep listening. CBS president David Rhodes is the brother of Ben Rhodes, Obama's deputy national security advisor for strategic communications. So ABC News and CBS News both have people at the high level that were connected to Obama and the Democratic Party. ABC News correspondent Claire Shipman is married to Jay Carney, who is the former Obama White House press secretary. Look at the connection. Look at the mainstream media. Look at the deep state that we're talking about. This is mafia. This is all about control. Got to give them credit. They've done it right. ABC News and Univision reporter Matthew Jaffe is married to Katie Hogan, who is Obama's former deputy press secretary. Look at the connection here. Look at how it's all coming together. ABC President Ben Sherwood is the brother of Elizabeth Sherwood, Obama's former special advisor. Who do you think's calling the shots here? You know darn well Biden wasn't calling the shots. Mafia? You bet. All about power and control. They've been installing these people. They've been controlling the media. This is what it's all about. Let's keep going. This is what you call a stacked deck. If you had a hunch the news media was somehow rigged and you couldn't put your finger on it, this might help you solve the puzzle. Now you know why no one is investigated. They all have their hands in the cookie jar. You might remember James Comey, remember? Head of the FBI, who investigated the Clinton email scandal and the Clinton Foundation and made the final decision to not recommend prosecution by the DOJ. Well, listen to this. It turns out that Clinton Foundation was audited by the law firm DLA Piper. One of the executives there was in charge of the Clinton Foundation audit. Who was it? Peter Comey, James Comey's brother. Why wasn't she investigated to the full? Why wasn't she indicted? She should have been indicted. She obstructed justice. We know that. We know that there was bribes coming into the Clinton Foundation, but James Comey's brother was in charge of the investigation. This is mafia, people. Take my word for it. Look at the connection now with these voting machines where we had controversy. Remember Trump complaining, people complaining in Arizona that the Dominion, there was something wrong there. Who controls this? Listen closely. Smartmatic partnered with DLA Piper Global. Douglas C. Emhoff, who is that? The husband of Kamala Harris, works at DLA Piper Global. So now you got a connection to Kamala Harris with the voting machines. Douglas C. Emhoff, of course, Kamala Harris's husband. Guess who owns Dominion? Blum Capital Partners. Guess who is on the board for the company? Richard Blum. Guess who Richard Blum is? Dianne Feinstein's husband. Do you see how this all ties together to the Democrats, all the progressives? You have people in government in the Democratic Party that were controlling the outcome of Hillary Clinton and other things. And now you have the voting machines, Dominion, that services 40% of the country, is all tied up with the Democrats. And we have controversy about all of these things. Richard Blum is Dianne Feinstein's husband. Nancy Pelosi's husband is also a major investor in the company. Nancy Pelosi, she despises Donald Trump, despises him. Her husband is on the board, controlling Dominion.
It's a big club, and thank God you're not in it. Thanks to people like you, those who stood strong against the greatest psychological operation in human history, who saw through the facade, the global elite are being exposed and dismantled. We are living through truly extraordinary times. Here at The People's Voice, we're determined to continue exposing the elite, but we can't do it by ourselves. Subscribe to the channel and join the People's Voice Locals community to support the channel, join our amazing team and gain access to exclusive and uncensored content. I hope to see you there. Today's video is brought to you by IPv6ers. Are you a content creator who wants to publish information online without Big Brother spying and censoring your every move? IPv6ers is set to revolutionize the way information is disseminated on the internet by eliminating the need for big tech companies to provide unreliable, overpriced services such as self-hosting, email, and data management. IPv6ers enables an easy and accessible way for you to host your own web and email server with direct end-to-end connections and enhanced security. This means no snooping from Big Brother and no interference from the technocratic elite. If Hillary Clinton can get away with running her own server, why shouldn't you? Go to thepeoplesvoice.tv/IPv6 to sign up, or click the link below this video to take back control of the internet and win the info wars against the globalists. If you like our content, help support our sponsor IPv6ers and go to thepeoplesvoice.tv/IPv6 today. Thank you IPv6ers for making this video possible.